welcome back. To preview Saturday afternoon's Premier League match between Southampton and Burnley. Pascal stopped the away side and a massive win against Manchester City last time out.
Obviously huge, wasn't it? They're still in the bottom of three, but that was just a massive win for them. And, you know, they're on this terrible run of fixtures at the moment. They play top half sides. I think is it 7 or 8 games in a row they play top half sides, and obviously they haven't picked up any wins against the previous teams. But to beat a City side, I know City, they're not playing their best at the moment, but still, you know, they had lots of Aguero, Silva, all those quality players playing, and to keep them out as well, clean sheet. 1-0 win, it's a brilliant result for them and really does give their chance of staying up a massive boost. And obviously the goal was a fantastic goal, wasn't it? George Boyd, one of the crispest hits you'll see this season, the way it just sort of rose just off the turf. It's a fantastic strike from him, absolutely no chance for the goalkeeper. I think people blame Company for the header, but I think, you know, it was an okay defensive header. He got it up and away, and it's kind of unfortunate that it went straight to Boyd, but what a finish. You've got to say to him, fantastic finish and a brilliant win for them. And obviously they've had some quite impressive results at home this season, but that surely tops the lot. It was one of the best days they've had this season and really gives their chance of staying up a big boost.
I think it was a massive win, wasn't it? Just for obviously the league position and confidence as well. Sitting in the relegation zone in 18th, but only a point behind 17th at the moment. So obviously still so much to play for. And you talk about the fixtures, obviously it's been horrible, isn't it? But they've still got a few nasty ones to come, and their away form's not been great this season. Only won and lost 8 on the road. So obviously home form is going to be massively important at the end of it always is for teams struggling at the bottom, doesn't it? But if they can pick up little bits and bobs on the road, you know, if they can get a point here and there, especially if they can get a point in this game, obviously it'll be massive. But there's no reason why they're going to this game, you know, worried that they're going to get beat after beating City last time out. So obviously it's a massive game, but they should be full of confidence.
Definitely, but obviously they're still in this sort of rut of tough fixtures. Going to Southampton here, obviously Southampton's 6th in the league, and then their next they have 2 home games after this, but they're against Spurs and Arsenal, and obviously they're really tough fixtures. Then they go to Everton. You know, it doesn't really get too much easier. But I think the important thing for them is, if, you know, say they don't win any of those next 4 games, you know, the important thing is just to not get tonked in any of them, because the goal difference is so tight down there. Only 3 goals separate Villa in 16th and Leicester at the bottom. You know, they're all sort of around the same sort of goal difference. So if any side gets beaten badly, or if any side, you know, gets a convincing win, like Villa last week, obviously winning 4-0, that did their goal difference a massive boost, because they had the worst goal difference before that week. So it's just important not to get tonked. But obviously they might fancy themselves against Southampton, because they're a bit off form at the moment.
You mentioned Southampton are a bit off form, but last time out against Chelsea, they had a really good point there. Chelsea not in the best form, you know, sort of stuttering a little bit, but went there full of confidence, and obviously Chelsea got the early goal, Costa finally sort of breaking his mini duck he had. And I think the response from Southampton was good though, wasn't it? They were pushing forward. Shane Long obviously got the nod up front into the Pella, who's been struggling a bit, hasn't he? And there was a lot of movement with Mane up there, and Mane obviously won the penalty. I think there was 2 similar incidents, wasn't there, with Chelsea, one down the other end, and I think Costa was involved, wasn't he? And the one that obviously was given Matic, it was clumsy, you know. Mourinho had a bit of a gripe about that. You can understand why, because it was sort of a 50-50 maybe, but got the penalty. Tadic hits it down the middle, again sort of a lucky penalty. Courtois almost sort of hit it over with his legs, so to equalise there. And then they had a lot of chances in the first half. They were good on the break. I think if their final ball would have been a little bit better, then maybe they could have taken the lead, and Chelsea much the game in the second half, as you would expect. But to hold on there, they needed Fraser Forster, their goalkeeper. I think he's been great this season, hasn't he, to have a really good save. I think Alderweireld coming back into the defence as well the last few weeks. He's a fantastic player, and it's all about trying to sign him on a permanent deal. So obviously Wanyama and Schneiderlin in there as well. And I think when they've got their full team out, they are a match for the big teams. But like we mentioned all season, the problem is when they get injuries and positions, they haven't really got enough depth. But you know, massive result last time out, but they'll be looking to get back to winning ways here.
Definitely. Obviously it's only one league winning 5 games now, but I think, you know, people said after the game, you know, Southampton really hanging on there, which they kind of were at the end. That chance when John Terry hit it wide, you know, penalty scramble, that was, I don't know how it stayed out, but you know, I think apart from that late bit, I think Southampton were more than matched Chelsea. Like you said, in the first half, I was really impressed with them. You know, the goal was just lazy defending, you know, letting Costa drift off like that. But apart from that, Chelsea didn't do too much, and I wasn't really impressed with Southampton there. But you know, they didn't win the game. Like I said, one league winning 5 games, and it leaves them 6th in the table now. They've sort of dropped away from the top 4. They're now 6 points behind Man U in 4th, and you know, United, they're looking good. I mean, Arsenal and Liverpool, they're the sort of 2 form sides at the moment, both gone now above Southampton. And you know, Southampton, it's been a fantastic season. You know, you can't, no matter where even though it's been disappointing of late, the way they started the season was just brilliant. And if they can finish, you know, in the top 7, maybe get themselves a place in Europe, that would just be a massive achievement for them, given, you know, all the players they lost last summer, the new manager coming in, you know, signing players who we didn't know too much about, you know, going sort of around Europe to get new players. So if they can do that, it would be fantastic for them. And yeah, I think, you know, this is a game against Burnley that they'll really fancy winning.
You mentioned they'll fancy winning it. They've been good against the so-called lesser teams at home, wouldn't they? I think City went there and won, United went there and won, and beat Arsenal at home. Chelsea went there and drew, but against the lesser teams, they have been good at home. They've won 8 times at home this season, so they'll obviously be the favourites. Do you think they'll win this one?
Yeah, I think I do. I think it could be quite a low-scoring game. Southampton have been prided on their defence this season. That's been their sort of strongest point, and Burnley last week keeping out City. Two pretty good defences coming up against each other here. So I'm about the Saints to win 1-0.
1-0. It's difficult, isn't it? Because like I said, Burnley are on the up as well. I'm actually just going to back them to get a point, because I think Burnley, like I say, if they can pick up points here and there on the road, it will be good. And Southampton have sort of struggled to break things down lately, haven't they? Especially at home. So I'm actually going to go 1-1. It's got 1 home win and a 1-1 draw. Thanks for joining us.